What if a whistleblower does not want to be reinstated into their prior company due to awkwardness or fear of further harassment?
Sure. So the next rule says, okay, you've gone through all this. Now, again, we're talking retaliation. We're not talking rewards, because rewards, you win, you get your reward if your allegation was proven true, the company pays a sanction. So it's in its own world. You get a lot more money than you will in retaliation. These are great cases, but in retaliation, you have to go through everything we just talked about, all those technicalities: protected activity, knowledge, good faith, proving motive. Now you've won your case. What do you get? And often people are so exhausted by the end of the deal that they don't fully exploit all of what they can get. So this chapter, this rule, lays out all the different types of things you can get if you win your case. So one thing that's consistent in all the whistleblower laws is you get reinstatement. That's really the heart of it. You get your job back. But as you point out, many people don't want that job back. They've been out of it for 4 years. They know they'll never get the promotions that they deserve. They know they may get back reinstated to their old job, but it'll probably be rendered dead end. They fear 2 years later they may get named in a layoff. They don't. The boss has already said terrible things about them. Do they really want to work under that person? There's so many reasons why a whistleblower doesn't want to go back to that job. Conversely, there are reasons why the company doesn't want them back. They become a lightning rod to other whistleblowers. They become proof that whistleblowing can work, and others may find inspiration and take action based on their experience. So there's a doctrine known as front pay, in which instead of reinstatement, you can get monetary compensation for the loss of that job. So instead of going back to work, they may give you 3 years of your salary or 10 years. And so first off, I don't think any of the laws require front pay, but judges can give it if asked. There's a criteria that must be met. So if you're thinking front pay, it's once again understanding that to make sure when you do your trial, when you testify, the elements needed to get front pay are put onto the record. And so now when it's time to argue for your damages, you have a record to justify your front pay. And this is something that many whistleblowers want. Sometimes the companies will readily agree because they don't want you there, but sometimes the companies will be very mean-spirited. They know that the whistleblower doesn't want to return, so they'll just say, go back to work, or we'll protect you. And then the whistleblower gives up the right to reinstatement, which is often the most valuable piece of winning a whistleblower case, because the future income of a job that you might be at for 10 or 15 years can be a lot of money. So it's important to understand for your damages, how you can prove front pay if you don't want reinstatement, and make sure you prove it.
What are the typical damages in an employment case, and how do they differ from other cases?
Sure. So the typical, like almost every employment case, says reinstatement and back pay with benefits. Okay, that's your standard. But what is reinstatement? If it's generally to all the terms and conditions of employment. And what's back pay? So when you do it right, like we had a case, they got to give the guy the same office he had, the same desk get out the ruler, the same corporate car, all of the same benefits, all of retirement reinstated to market value. So you can start looking at every single benefit of that job and make sure you get it if you win your case. Because if you're going to be reinstated, you can ask the judge to condition that reinstatement on true reinstatement, where you have the same responsibilities, the same chains of command, and the same instruments at your fingertips so you can be successful. And the more you push for that, guess what? The more the employer is going to say, oh, maybe we want front pay. So once you present the facts and argue for real reinstatement with every right and privilege you had, responsibility that you had, reporting structures, everything, then if you do go back, you may like your job may be okay. But more important, the company may start reconsidering whether they want you back with all those responsibilities and reports, and the potential that you'll file new lawsuits because they're not adhering to these very strict reinstatement requirements. Compensatory damages are critical. That's non-economic damage for emotional distress or loss of reputation. Those can be significant. And finally, punitive damages, which can often be about 10 times the amount of your actual damages. These are available under a lot of the state laws and a handful of the federal laws.